Hi, my name is Pinky Ghelani and you are watching Pinky TV. This is What Women Want, and if you are on Facebook, hello and welcome. Drop a comment, let us know where you are watching from. If you are on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you can be privy to conversations like this first. And I thank you for being here so far. These conversations are brought to you by SBM Bank, and we are filming at Gem Suites in Nairobi, Kenya. Today I'm joined by Mehnaz, Sarwar, I hope I said that right. You're a leader, pioneer. I'm not going to say much because our theme for season 3 is unlearn. So we allow our guests to introduce themselves and then we'll get into the topic. So over to you, Mehnaz.
Like you said, my name is Mehnaz Sarwar. I am the founder and director of Nisataxi. Nisataxi is a taxi service for women and children. We try to provide a safe space for women and in the transport industry, and also try to empower female drivers and give them more jobs and more security in this male-driven industry.
So you've been on BBC, you've done all the interviews, you've got a lot of exposure because of what you are doing in this regard. Let's talk about female entrepreneurship, especially in the era of COVID.
Yes.
How's it been?
I think generally female entrepreneurs are not taken seriously. It's very rare to see a female-run business who are given proper credit and proper support. So I think it is a struggle for any female who is trying to start a business, run a business. There's a lot of hoops. There's a lot of male counterparts that don't take our businesses seriously. And then COVID obviously doesn't make it easier because you still now have to try to get the get people to use the taxi services. Having COVID and stuff like that, you don't. Okay, I'm a bit. Thank you.
No, it's okay.
Go ahead. Continue?
Yes.
So yeah, with COVID and all this happening around, things did slow down a bit, but we're still determined. We still want to make sure that this business does well, and we want to keep going.
Now, when it comes to COVID and the fact that you employ so many women, I know that I'm doing a panel discussion on how women have been affected by COVID-19. The pandemic has hit women really hard. Do you see that the people that you are working with suddenly have dropped off or not been so consistent or have more challenges because of the pandemic?
Generally with our female drivers, they are more concerned with their hygiene, so they do make sure that their hygiene levels are good. In terms of dropped off, majority of our drivers are still around, the ones we have retained since the start of our business. The only thing is that we are not able to give them consistent business as we would like. So it's not something that we can, it's not as stable as I would like it to be for the female drivers. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, generally female drivers and stuff are definitely more affected because already they have lesser parts of the jobs, and now the jobs are even half of what they were before. So they do get affected much more in general.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do we support you? How do we make this business grow? Because I'm all for women empowerment, of course, and I've used your services. I think they're fabulous. I think your drivers are amazing. How do we support this business further?
I think our main thing is we need more investors. We need more government involvement, making sure that we can stabilize this business and make it grow. Because if we are empowering women, for example, let's say a woman is in a domestic violence situation, the fact that they have a job and they're stable can make it easier for them to escape such situations as well. So we are empowering women. We're giving them more jobs. It's a very male-dominated business. So I think women need to come together, use our services more, but at the same time, we need more investments and more people supporting this type of business so that we can grow, we can get it bigger and have more people involved and give more jobs to more women. So yeah, that's the ideal.
So what was the thinking process behind an all-women taxi service?
Women generally are more vulnerable in the public space. We've seen what happened a couple of years ago with the matatus, where the women were stripped. So generally, women feel more vulnerable in a public transport place, and the fact that we don't know the drivers, we don't know the male drivers if they're having a bad day, or you just don't know what the person is going through. So putting ourselves in such a vulnerable situation where anyone can lock the doors and they can take another route, we don't know where we're going. I think we just wanted to provide a safe space. We had heard many horror stories. So we thought, if I need, like for me, it was very important to have a female driver. So if I thought I need this service, I'm sure there are other women out there who need it. And I think safe spaces generally are very important for women and children. I've been in a cab with my children, and it's just very awkward. The cab driver will tell them not to touch the windows, don't do this, don't do that. It's a very awkward position to be in. So we wanted to provide a safe space for both the women and the children.
And what happens? There was a question that came to me. Shit, how did I forget it? Sorry, Raj. You said something so important there about safe spaces. Oh my God, it was such a nice question. It was a juicy question.
A vulnerable situation? No.
Not about the vulnerable situation. You said something and I tried to pick it up and then I heard something. I got distracted.
I'll come to you.
This is the second time it's happening to me today where I blanked a question. Okay, no, I got it. So can you debunk this whole myth that Nisataxi is just for Muslim women?
Majority of our female drivers are non-Muslim. I think less than 1% are Muslim. And majority of the users are non-Muslim. So it's not a Muslim issue whether we want a female driver. It's a female issue. It is problems with male-driven taxis is not based only in Kenya. These are problems in also the Western world, the first world countries and stuff. So it's not like a Muslim women issue. It generally affects women across the board. It doesn't depend on what you wear or what is your religion or anything like that. It's just safe spaces for women. And I think every woman understands when I've spoken to women all across the board, they're like, I need this. We need this service, not only for us, for our children. The amount of parents who call us to do daily drop-offs and pickups for their kids, we don't trust the other taxi companies around. We want Anissa, we want a female driver.
Right.
So you can see that there is a demand, there is a need. We are filling a need, but the only biggest thing is that we're not getting the support as a business that we require.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you think the difference is between male and female drivers?
I think female drivers...
Because apparently we have a bad reputation as women drivers were rubbish.
To be honest, female drivers are much more careful. They're much more maternal. There's we've had the taxi users who come in and take off their hair, like their wigs, or they fall asleep in the car.
Yeah.
Like they said they can't do that in a male-driven car because they need to be alert. They need to know what's happening.
Right.
Some people have been touched up. Some people have been sexually assaulted. They have been, just the words that I use sometimes they can be uncomfortable.
Yes.
So I think generally women just put their guards down as soon as there's a female driver. We've had female users who sit in the front. They would never do that with a male taxi driver. Mm-hmm. But as soon as they see a female, they want to sit in the front. They're like, oh, wow, I feel more comfortable. I feel more safer. So that's the biggest difference, I think. Female drivers are definitely more careful, and it's just a safer option for the women out there and the children out there.
So we initially, the way the conversation started was that we were talking about, women entrepreneurship and how that's going. What advice would you have for anybody who's watching who's a woman, who's an entrepreneur, who's maybe struggling a little bit? What would you tell her?
I think generally with any business, you have to keep going. Don't give up. You will get obstacles. There has been times that you just feel like, can't do this anymore. And also we've seen our business evolve. Don't be scared of evolving. Sometimes something might work perfectly, but sometimes you might need to change different aspects of your business to make it grow. So, like I said, the whole thing about the monthly drives, it wasn't something that we ever thought about. We just wanted to focus on the taxi service. But the amount of requests that we get for it is making us want to evolve our business and give that service and offer that service. So don't be afraid of change. Keep going, and eventually you can make it work. It takes a lot of hard work and patience.
And what about, women entrepreneurs who are afraid to invest in their own businesses? I mean, I see that a lot. And there was a beautiful guest who, sat across from me just as you are today. And her words sort of stuck with me that if you don't invest in yourself, nobody else will have the faith in investing in you.
That's true.
So what advice would you have there? Because starting a business or running a business is never cheap.
Of course. We've invested a lot into our business. But again, if you believe in it, if you think that you are making a change, for us, our biggest thing is that we believe that we're giving women the safe space that they deserve. We're giving our drivers, we're empowering our drivers, we're giving them jobs, we're making sure that they're paid better than they are paid in different jobs. And I think if you believe in your business, keep going. Invest what you need to, but you have to be careful, obviously. You can't just throw a lot of money and you're not getting your returns. Be vigilant in what you're doing, but at the same time, if you believe in your vision, go for it. I think it's important.
And what about seeking out mentors or people who can advise you? Would you say that that's something you recommend?
I do recommend, although it's not been easy for me to find that.
Okay.
So I would love to have somebody who can mentor me through. And for me, it was a first-time business, as in a taxi service business. So if I was to able to get good advice, maybe I would do it better. So it is important to get mentors in your field, or there's so many YouTube talks and stuff like that about people who have done something similar. Listen to that, learn and evolve. Recently we were involved in a business. It was what's it called? I lost it.
Like a seminar?
No, there was a 3-month business course for women.
Of course, yeah.
And they chose Anissa to be part of it.
Okay.
So in that, they were able to give advice on so many different aspects of business. And I was able to learn so much that I never even thought about. And they talk about different aspects of business and things I'd never looked into. So do a course, do something that's going to benefit your business and evolve your way of thinking.
When you say evolve, I wonder if you also speak the language of unlearn, because sometimes we're so set in our ways and it has to be this way and it cannot be in another way. Would you say that women in business need to unlearn so that they can be open to evolve?
Definitely, because like I said, when you first start a business, you think you know it all. It's only when you start it off and you realize, no, this needs to be done this way. So you do learn on the job. So like you said, you shouldn't be afraid of learning something new. Learn a new skill, learn something that's going to benefit you.
Yeah.
If I could learn how to code and start my own app, I could do that. I don't have the patience to do that, but that would really help my business. But it's not something I'm able to do. But you need to learn to be able to make your business grow.
And the fact that your business is, succeeding thus far, would you say it's because you are unique and you target a niche?
Exactly. So I think there's a high demand of women out there, although the people that I've spoken, the investors I've spoken to, have always said it's not a big enough problem that we're solving. The issue of women's safety is large, is huge.
Yes.
For example, if a woman does get raped or sexually assaulted, this is something that stays, it's a stigma that stays with her mentally, physically, emotionally, for the rest of their life. And it's a big deal. But for some reason, people don't understand the importance of women's safe spaces. It's not like we're being, we hate men or we hate the male, thing. There's nothing like that. It's just the fact that we think that our safety is important to us and we take our safety in our own hands. And I think it's very important for women to do that.
A lot of the times when you do a bit of investigation, you'll find that women are at the top of criminal syndicates. How do you vet your drivers?
So all our drivers have the NTSA, the background checks are already done. and we make sure that our drivers are we know their history before we take them on board. We've been in business for the last 2 years, and so far, alhamdulillah, we have never had an issue where our drivers have done anything inappropriate. So I think generally women are just a bit more maternal, and they actually want to prove themselves. Like with our drivers, they want to show that they are able to work in a male-driven industry. So for them, the image is very important, and their work is very important. It's not something that they just take on as it's just a hobby. It's something that's important to them. They're feeding their kids with this business, whatever they're doing. Mm-hmm. They've invested their time. They've invested in cars. They've invested in all this. So it's not a joke for the ladies who have come on board, and we see that they take their jobs very seriously. Like you said, you've used them, and you'll see they'll go above and beyond to make sure that the customers are happy, and to make sure that they stand out, because it's a male-driven industry. There's only 100 or so women, while there are thousands of men.
Yeah.
So they still need to prove themselves.
True.
Like literally, we have men. They work with different apps as well. So they have had times where a man does request the ride. When they see a woman come, they'll just cancel the request.
Oh, wow. Really?
We don't want a female driver.
Yeah, because we're bad drivers. Apparently.
Although you'll see majority of the accidents are by male drivers.
Yeah, although I can't reverse park.
Oh, I can. So you should see the level of expertise with our female drivers. They're very good at what they do.
Yeah.
And like I said, they want to prove themselves, and they really put their heart and soul in what they do. So I think it's very important for us to support that, and also to make it grow, so that we can give more women opportunity. Since Anisa started, we have so many women who want to come on board. They don't want to work with the male driven taxis as well, because they don't want male passengers. They feel the same thing about the safety. They prefer having female customers. They've been groped, they've been touched up. We've had one of our female drivers who was taken away on gunpoint.
Wow.
Yeah, and luckily she was able to flip her car and get away.
Goodness.
Otherwise, we don't know what the person wanted to do. So they feel insecure as well. They don't work after 6, most of them. With Anisa, they have that peace of mind. There's a woman, and they feel safer as well. So the safety aspect is for both the customer and the driver as well.
Right. You have a young daughter.
Yes, I do.
What advice, or rather, how are you bringing her up so that she develops some of your entrepreneurial skills, and that she's able to be as empowered as you are?
When people look at me, they don't think I'm empowered, because I'm a covered Muslim woman. Generally, the misconception is that if you're covered, you're Muslim, you sit at home and cook and clean. Mm-hmm. But with me, my husband, he's never told me that's my job. And I know Islamically, we've had the likes of Khadija, who's been a businesswoman. So we are empowered within our religion. And although I cover, that doesn't limit me. My covering is just a part of me. It's just one aspect of what I am.
Clothes.
It's just clothes.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important for women not to worry about what they wear and what they look like, but work on their visions. Like if they have a dream and an ambition, go for it.
Yeah.
There's nothing limiting you. You're a woman, so what?
Mm-hmm.
That's it's not a limitation. And there's a very big misconception that Islam doesn't allow women to be empowered, to be outspoken. I do all that within my religion. My religion is the one that gives me the boost, the confidence to go forward, because I know that Islamically I'm doing what is expected from me as a woman. We are allowed to be ambitious. We are allowed to be out there. Although culture has taken that away, but Islam never did. So right. I think it's very important for Muslim women also to accept their identity and go out there, do what they need to do. Don't accept the cultural limitations, because a lot of Muslim women are limited by their culture. They don't know their own rights within their religion. So they think, okay, this is against my religion to go out and work. It's against my religion. But no, we've never been limited. It's just we're allowing the culture to limit us. So I think for me, I want to bring up my daughter. Like I said, I named her Khawla. That means, like, Khawla was a fearless warrior. So she needs to know that there's no limits. Go for it and do what you need to do.
I love it, because so much what you said in there is like, again, what we have to do to unlearn.
Exactly.
and then become exactly who we need to be in this world. And we need to do it so, like, fearlessly, completely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was always told, I was actually told by a Muslim woman, I will not be able to go far because I'm covered.
Oh, wow.
Nobody can see my face. You can't, you need to, basically you need to show some skin to get forward in life.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I really don't
and
think
this is
that.
a woman.
A Muslim woman.
Unfortunately. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, trust me.
Yeah.
Like you said, you have to unlearn the culture
Yes.
to be able to accept.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
most people are just binded by their culture
Yeah.
and they don't think past that.
Wow, thank you, Mehnaz. I really enjoyed talking to you today. I think
Same
you're
here.
a phenomenal person. I wish you all the best with
Thank you
your
so much, Ringy.
business endeavors. And of course, I appeal to my community to support your business as well.
I hope so
and,
too.
I just want to say thank you very much. Mehnaz and I would love to hear from you. We'd love to know if you've had any experiences in a cab that's made you feel uncomfortable. Make sure you leave a comment below. You could win a phone from Safaricom. All you have to do is check out the links below and I'll give you those details. Thank you once again so much for being a part of this show.
Thank you, Pinky.
And for giving us your time.
Thank you for giving me your time.
Anytime. Thank you so much for watching, and I encourage you as always to be brave. Learn to unlearn. Thank you for watching. Bye.